Vodou initiation, magic, and priorities is the topic for this video. And Egypt, traveling to Egypt, or world travel. I have had very many people tell me that they're jealous that I've been fortunate enough to go to Egypt twice. The first time I went, I spent 2 months there with all private guides and drivers. And the second time, I just stayed in a fancy apartment instead. And of course, still private guides and drivers, but it's a little different the second time. And I have been to Haiti, spent a couple weeks there learning about Vodou, of course. And then I've been to Africa for initiation and spent 3 weeks there. And I've been to Albania, I've been to Greece. I've been to a few places. Mexico, who hasn't though? Hawaii, whatever. I'm from Canada, in case everybody did not know that. Vancouver, Canada, the most expensive city in the world. I think it's LA, Canada, Vancouver, about the same these days. Anyway, so I have people saying they're jealous about all these trips. Now, these are usually people, at least the ones that I know well, that make more money than I do. I'm not going to say how much I make, sorry, but I'm not rich. I'm not Miss Cleo. Last time I checked anyway. Not the reincarnation of Miss Cleo. But I'm not rich. We'll just go with that. But I've managed to go on these trips. And for some reason, most of the people that make the same, a little less, or a little more, a lot more, do not have the money to go on these trips, or the time, depending on the job. Some people just don't have the time because, you know, all the overtime work and commitments and stuff like that. So I would say priorities. It's about priorities. Now, my first trip to Egypt, I decided I needed to go to Egypt. Well, and the Invisibles told me, get your butt over to Egypt. It's time to go. Okay, then go to Egypt. So I decided I'm going to go for 2 months, spend some time there. They have internet cafes, so I can get some work done. So what I did is I decided for 6 months that I would attend no concerts, would not go to eat, would not do any social events that cost money for 6 months. No concerts, no going to eat, no going to the pub, nothing at all whatsoever, and no buying myself clothes for 6 months. I'm a woman, I have clothes, it's fine. I could live an entire 6 months without buying a single piece of clothing or shoes. It's all good. So after the 6 months of budgeting, because, you know, friends, when you get together, what do? Usually you go out to a pub, a couple drinks, or you go out to a restaurant and have something to eat. Stuff like that. Or you go to a concert, go to a movie. It all costs money. So I just did free activities with friends for 6 months. 6 months isn't that long. At the time, it seemed kind of long, it seemed kind of boring, but I'm like, okay, Egypt, it'll be worth it. So after 6 months, I had enough money to spend 2 months in Egypt. Now, I did the budget travel version. I did stay in youth hostels, which actually was really freaking awesome because those are family run, right? So you get to hang out with the family, have the amazing cooking for not much more, get to know the family and the culture. So actually the youth hostels are amazing and interesting. So I did do the cheap travel version, but I did not want to go with the throngs of tourists, the big tour bus, being pushed in and out of the temples. You know, you got like half an hour in this temple and that's it. And then you got to go here, here, and here, and you're out. No, I didn't want that crap. So made sure I had enough money to hire private guides and private drivers, which actually cost the same as the fancy tour bus tours with 50 other people, or 20, or whatever. So I just did it the way I wanted. Now, I did not buy many souvenirs. I think I bought 1 or 2 t-shirts, a piece of papyrus, and that's about it, and took a few thousand photos. But whatever, I still got to go to Egypt, and I got to stay there for 2 freaking months. I got to visit every single temple and tomb and museum from one end of Egypt to the other that was open. Just from not doing any social activities for 6 months, or buying myself anything. You know, we like to buy ourselves little things. Now, you wouldn't think about it, but you think, oh, I'm just going to stop by for a coffee. That's only $2 or $3. But they add up, especially if you do that kind of thing daily. Oh, do they add up? Or I'm just going to stop by the gas station and get a juice. Those add up. It all adds up. So it depends on your priorities. If you're not part of the 2%, it used to be 1%. I think we've gone to 2% now. If you're not part of the 2%, you probably want to budget if you want an amazing trip to Egypt or an initiation into a traditional practice, because those cost money. So what you have to do is you have to save. You have to have priorities. You have to decide what your priorities are. Unfortunately, most people in North America, I hate to say it, but magic is one of the lower priorities. You know, once a week for an hour, sure. But, you know, that's not very high priority. Come on, once a week for an hour? People even do martial arts more than that. That's nothing. People even go to college for more hours than that. That is nothing. People watch TV for more hours than that. Come on. Well, or YouTube, whatever. And then, so you just decide, what are your priorities? Is your priority learning empty stuff on YouTube? Or reading empty stuff on the internet? Or sitting around discussing golf with your buddies? Sorry, bad example. I don't play golf. Sorry to your golfer people. It's a good relaxing thing. But what are your priorities? What is most important to you in your life? Do you really want that initiation? Do you really want that new magic circle? Sorry, couldn't resist. What are your priorities? What's most important to you? Are you going to be buying a new pair of shoes every month or every 2 months? Or are you going to save that money up? Are you just going to go to the dollar store for your makeup or your cologne or whatever, just for a while, so you can have different priorities? I'm not saying be cheap your entire life. Just pick a time frame. How long will it take you to save such and such amount of money for your trip? Now, if you like to go on a trip and stay in 4-star hotels, that's fine. Just so you save a little more money, that's all. Work some overtime or something. But pick some priorities. What are your priorities really? If you were to think about every single thing that you spend money on, and then every single thing you spend time doing, and you'd actually write it down, make a schedule. It's actually one thing they made us do in college, that we had to plot out what we did all day, every day for 2 weeks to see what we really did and how much time wasting we did. It was bad. We all did so much time wasting. But what are your priorities for what you spend time on? Magic or not? Think of all those empty times during the week. Now, of course, you want time to relax. That's important. And you want time to do fun, silly stuff. You really do. You can't just be like work, save. No, you got to have balance. But you also have to have priorities. And we quite often, we don't realize what we're doing. You know, the weekends, we don't realize how much time we wasted clicking through cat photos or selfies or whatever. We don't realize, or how many coffees we bought. It adds up, and we don't realize. You know, okay, only a few minutes and a few dollars here and there, but over time, so what are we focusing on? What are we putting all our energy into? What are we spending our money on? These are important things. Now, if you don't have to budget, that is awesome. Get your butt over to Africa. Get your initiation now, come on. See, for those that don't have to budget, I would ask, how come you haven't gone yet? I mean, for the people who want to go, obviously. For the people who don't want to go, no, that's fine, that's cool. But the people who do want to go and make enough money to go and have enough money, why haven't you gone yet? Fear, I figure. But anyway, that would be a whole other topic, whole other video. But you want to figure out your priorities in life, what you spend your time with. See, there's money. That's easy to count. So that's easy to talk about. But there's also time. And I know time is non-linear, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But really, what are we spending all our time on? Are we spending our time on what we want to manifest in our life? Are we spending our time more on random stuff or on stuff, pointless stuff, or stuff that we regret later because we did not plan ahead? So I'd say plan ahead on what you want in your life, for your money, your time, and your focus, because focus is important. As we spend our time on something and our money on something, we're putting our focus on that. We don't usually just throw money around. Usually we have a little bit of focus doing it. And if we're just throwing it around, it's not like we think about it when we hand it to the cashier at the grocery store, at least. If we're lucky, we don't. But that's still an energy process. We're still putting energy into it. And there's still energy going towards it. Now that's something important, but say you're out gambling instead, maybe overdoing it a little, without thinking about it. You want to have focus. You don't want to sort of lose yourself and not be aware of what you're doing. Now, there's times in your life you want to go out and just have fun and do silly stuff, like I said a few minutes ago. But you want to keep that to a minimum, and you want to plan that. You want to plan, perhaps as a reward for freaking doing amazing magic stuff all week, for spending an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, every single day on your magic. You can do some crazy fun stuff on the weekend or something. You know, you can use it as a reward system. But you want to focus. You want to have focus in your life. Focus on what you really want. I've had so many people complain, magicians, that they haven't been to Egypt. Come on. These are people with new cars here. If you got a new car and you haven't been to Egypt, you can't complain, okay? You just can't. Even a semi-new car and haven't been to Egypt, you cannot complain. Sell the car to go to Egypt. Anyway, so see, I have different priorities than most people. So you want to have probably a balance. Most people are kind of usually halfway between me and the materialists, right? Usually not so much one or the other. But you want to decide how much you want something, how much balance towards each thing in your life you have. You want to decide, and you want to figure out what you're doing with your time and your energy and your thoughts. What are you thinking about? What are you obsessing over? What are you dwelling upon? Are you constantly thinking about and obsessing over other people you don't even know? Or politics or drama? Well, no, politics is fine if you're doing something about it, but if you're just obsessing and thinking about all this stuff and spending time reading the news and watching all that, put that on your just do stupid stuff for fun day. But don't spend your life doing it when you could spend your life focusing on magic, focusing on your dreams, focusing on your career, focusing on what you want, focusing on your trip to Egypt, focusing on that initiation, whatever, focusing on magic, focusing on getting a daemon seal with a giant gemstone in it. Sorry, subliminal messages, go to my website now. But no, so you figure out your focus, figure out what you want, figure out what's important in your life. If it's magic, you want to spend some time reading. I recommend the older grimoires and the manuscripts, not the crap you find around the internet personally. And you want to focus on time on doing it a lot. Doing it is the best. You know, an hour doing magic is better than 100 hours of reading, seriously. An hour with a wise teacher is better than 1,000 hours of reading. But an hour of working magic, still, so you spend your time with your wise teacher, maybe watch a video. You gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta do it. You actually do something. Just knowledge is cool and all, it's handy, but no, magic's about doing it, because usually theories and what's written down about magic is not how it actually works out and manifests. And there is, even if I were to actually give you all the secrets of the universe and magic that I knew, I could not actually explain them in a video. You could not actually experience them. You got to be there. You got to do the work. You actually have to do it yourself. And solo work actually sometimes manifests the strongest stuff. Group rituals, sure, you get 13 people together, 9 or whatever. It gets strong. There's more people. However, that's solo work. There's nothing that can replace getting down and doing that solo work. So get to work. Get your priorities in order. Decide what you want in life. Decide how you're going to do it, what you're going to focus on, what you're going to scrap that you no longer need, and then get working magic. Work some magic every damn day on it. Okay, say you have 3 kids and 2 jobs and can't do it that way. Just do it as much. 5 minutes a day if you have to. Twice a week if you have to. Now, you people without kids, no excuses, sorry. Now, if you're married or have a girlfriend, boyfriend, cool. Explain to them you need to meditate. Anyone who can't give you time to meditate, anyway, I won't get into that rant. It's a whole new video. But anyway, you just explain you need time to meditate if you have people around that are distracting you. And then you do it. You just get to work. No excuses. No more excuses. There's all these workout videos. No excuses. You see this person with in a wheelchair doing crazy pull-ups that most people can't do. And it says no excuses. Well, magic, I should do some crazy magic no excuses videos or something. But really, no excuses. Get on it. Just do what you can. That's the part that no excuses videos forget. They forget to say do what you can. So just do what you can and work up. Start small and work up. Now get to it. This video is getting longer than 15, so stop in here. www.Enochian.org. Go to my website, like and share this video. My video series to stop the misinformation about magic. And get to it. Get doing some magic tonight. And check out my website too. I have many articles up there that you can read.
Thanks for watching, comment, like, and share.